Starfield is one of the most expected games of 2023. Developed and published by Bethesda, it holds the responsibility of bringing back good games to this developer's catalog. Once since 2015, it only brought us re-releases like even more versions of Skyrim, one of Fallout 4, and a few weird tries like mobile games, and also a test outside of what they are used. That honestly, I don't know what they were thinking with Fallout 76. Maybe they were trying to make one of those money farm games? Maybe, probably, possibly, I don't know. Hi, I'm Lucas Highland, and today we're gonna talk about Starfield, an enormous release by one of the most loved developers ever in the video game industry, but that is tightrope walking because of its past few years' releases. And well, these horse.
So, you found something?
The new guy found it.
You dug up the artifact, right? That means you saw it. The visions?
Everybody is hyped with this new release, but since Bethesda put out a demo video of the gameplay, people start to get a little concerned about a few things. Bethesda is known for their remarkable skills of putting out very buggy games, and with the horror show that Fallout 76 were in terms of bugs and performance in the release date, it would be expectable for the dev team to take extra care to avoid repeating the same shame this past release was. But the first thing that many people saw in the gameplay trailers was that it definitely had frame rate drops below 30 FPS, which annoys almost everyone. Some others because some people are very sensitive to motion sickness in FPS games, just like I am. And normally this can be associated with FPS drops, so people literally get sick of the game. Literally. And even more with the fiasco of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, it shows very well that players nowadays accept many things, but abusive monetizations and very poor performance and bugs are not among the things that players are accepting nowadays, and I agree with them. The consumer should not test the game. This is something that the companies should invest before putting their games in the market. I don't know why I have to tell them that. I know all we saw from Starfield was just a demo, and we don't know how far in the past is this built from, but in a demo, normally we see the best in the games. And if this is the best, I'm afraid to see the worst. Let's just hope it was a node build and that the person who curated the clips for the gameplay review was just a bad intern? Maybe? Although picking who chooses the clips is also a very important choice. Let's just watch a few more seconds of Fallout 76 bugs. Okay, that's enough. Bethesda is a developer that is very respected by the gamers because of its extremely immersive worlds. Their graphics were never the best and the performance was always a stone in their way, but the players were always able to forget about all of this because of the most important thing, the fun! And this is where they are the best. They're also the best creators of immersive worlds, with memorable characters, cities, dialogues.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in the knee.
Quests, plots, and stories. Normal open worlds have a long main quest and a few other small side quests. And other one-time challenges like rescuing an old lady cat, gathering some berries in a mountain for a medic, or something like this. But not in Bethesda games for sure. If you ever played one of their games the right way, you know that the main quests in their games are normally, well, the worst. The side quests with the factions and other kinds of challenges are normally as long or even longer than the main storyline quest. So I believe they kinda use the main storyline quest to explain how the world works, to show the map to the player so they can explore the side quests after finishing it or during at the same time. You can do whatever you want at the same time or one after the other, you choose. For example, I have a playthrough of Skyrim that I just learned the row and Fool's Row after almost 15 or 20 hours of gameplay, and it went like the best playthrough I ever did of Skyrim. So normally the side quests in Bethesda's games are always very cool. And there is a very cool quest that you can do right now. Leaving this video a thumbs up! It's a quite short quest, but the reward for both of us is huge. I get to show my work for more people, you are more likely to get recommended my videos in the future, as well as of many other good creators that have similar channels to mine. Only high quality content. Thank you, now back to the video. The graphics in Bethesda's games are not the best, but the ambients are memorable. There is always something interesting going on that makes us want to visit it or interact with it. The cities are unique, different, and have very memorable aesthetics. And this exclusivity in big part is responsible for how memorable their worlds are. And this is why the Bethesda fans are so worried about Starfield. Although Starfield is the first game that Bethesda is making with the updated version of the proprietary game engine called Creation Engine, and this game is a clear step forward compared to the previous titles, it still feels a few steps behind of the rest of the industry, and the worst part is that sometimes it even feels like a few steps behind their own past games. Alongside with the possibility of performance problems like I mentioned before, this game looks, well, generic, empty. It seems to lack the uniqueness that Bethesda is used to bring to their games, that vibe that players remember after years. And that makes us more and more excited for the future games of this developer. The visual problems are not related with the realism, or how the RTX and reflections and shadows and blah blah blah, it doesn't matter. It has to do with the lack of personality and the weird color grading. If we look to games with a similar theme, Killzone Shadowfall is far more memorable than what we saw in Starfield demos. And this is not a compliment for Killzone Shadowfall. And about the color grading, it just feels like everything is under or overexposed, flat, like it was captured by an amateur cinematographer. And the worst part is that while I was watching the demos they put out so far, I continually felt the bad sensation of I think I saw this before. Different from the epic Hornet helmet from Skyrim, or all the retrofuturism masterpiece of graphic design the Fallout franchise has. Seriously, I'm graduated in graphic design and I can tell you, Fallout's graphic design and style is so good that I made many university projects based on their styles. And even had an Instagram page 100% inspired by the Fallout 50's retrofuturism. But sadly, we don't see any of these memorable things here in Starfield. And this is what is the most concerning thing about the game. It's a new IP by Bethesda, the first in let's say 20 years or even more, I don't know. They had a completely white canvas to create new, unique and impressive aesthetics, just like they did more than once in the past. But from what we have so far, it seems they failed already. It is difficult to talk too much about a game with so little public information as this one. But unfortunately, it seems they are in a tough spot. Is there hope for this game?
That's the Crimson Fleet!
Everybody get ready!
The fleet doesn't follow the rules. Agree to work for UCC Steph. Together, we take down these cutthroat pirates.
Yes, there is hope for this game, because even with all these problems I mentioned so far, none of these can beat the fun in a video game. And the people who already tested the game are saying it was way above their expectations. If you ever enjoyed any Bethesda game before and you watched their gameplay reveal video, you will see that although the visual uniqueness is missing, the vibe and the atmosphere of this game is totally there. Which makes me hopeful for an excellent game. Factions, side quests that seem more like entire main quests, high quality dialogues and interactions with NPC can save this game. Fans are hyped and hoping for a good game, mainly because they don't like to see the downfall of studios they love so much as this one. That created the fun Fusroda, the Pip-Boy, the Giant Fly, not a fly that's too big, but a giant that makes us fly. And yes, you absolutely know what I'm talking about. We want more memorable and exciting experiences just like we had with Elder Scrolls and Fallout. But the future is bright for games. And I think we are gonna see more companies like Bethesda in the future that care less about realism, graphics, and sometimes even too much with visuals, and more about stories, gameplay, and the overall fun we have playing video games. Money attached to good games, good releases instead of just catchy and weird strategies to empty our wallets? Let's pretend these horse mobile games and Fallout 76 do not exist. And if you want to know how this is possible, you can watch this other video where we talk about how the future of the video games are very different from what you expect. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave it a thumbs up. It helps me a lot, my channel is still very small and I need your help to make it. I'm Lucas Highland, thank you for watching and see you in the next video.